In a world where ancient rituals and modern simplicity intertwine, I invite you to journey into the story of mead, a drink born of nature and steeped in mystery. Mead, often called the child of honey, emerges from the annals of time as a celestial elixir believed to be favored by the gods. Its history is as sweet and complex as the nectar from which it is made, carrying within every drop memories of ancient feasts, sacred ceremonies, and communal celebrations. In this narrative, we traverse time, exploring mead's humble beginnings when water and honey met by chance and transformed into a symbol of divine intoxication. Its origins, shrouded in the mists of prehistory, remind us that even before the advent of agriculture, humans experienced nature's magic in its most unrefined form. This story reveals a drink that was never simply about quenching thirst. It was a ritual, a celebration of life and connection, a potion that united communities and elevated everyday moments into timeless legends. As I guide you through the evolution of this enchanting beverage, we discover that mead is not just a relic of bygone eras. It is a living testament to humanity's enduring quest to capture the essence of life in a cup. Every sip of mead resonates with symbolic significance, a reminder that ancient wisdom and modern curiosity can coexist on the same table. So, let us step back in time and unravel how a simple mixture of honey and water transformed into an intangible bond among people. A drink that stirred the souls of our ancestors and continues to whisper tales of forgotten gods and immortal feasts. In the earliest moments of human civilization, before the art of brewing or even the controlled use of fire was mastered, there existed a simple yet powerful concoction: mead. It all began with nature's serendipity, a jar of water and a dollop of honey left to mingling under the gentle hand of time. Imagine a world where wild bees buzzed among fragrant blooms, and their precious honey was gathered and shared, not simply as a food, but as a mysterious gift of nature. Early humans, in their humble dwellings, might have mixed water with honey, only to forget the mixture for a few nights, only to be greeted by an unexpected transformation. Such an event was not merely accidental. It was a gateway from the untamed nature of raw ingredients to a cultured, life-affirming ritual. As centuries passed, this basic phenomenon captured the imagination of diverse cultures, each hinting at the magic underlying the process of fermentation. The transformation of honey water into an intoxicating beverage symbolized the eternal interplay between chance and art, an alchemy that turned an everyday act into a celebration of life. Ancient groups from the icy expanses of northern lands to the lush tropics encountered this mysterious change and wove it into their cultural fabric. In these moments, the simplicity of nature was elevated to a sacred phenomenon, a reminder of humanity's inherent ability to transform and elevate even the most common resources into something profound. Deep in the memory of ancient legends, the narrative of the Matako people stands out, a tale both cautionary and enlightening, filled with symbolism and mystique. The legend tells of an elder, a wise yet daring figure, who once dared to mix honey with water in a bold experiment with destiny. In a world untouched by modern science, the elder's act was less about brewing a beverage and more about challenging the unknown. As the mixture was left to rest overnight, the people around him watched with a mixture of curiosity and fear. They hesitated, convinced that the unknown liquid might harbor a lethal poison, a divine retribution for meddling with the forces of nature. Yet, amid the skepticism, the elder acted with resolute determination, driven not by arrogance, but by the wisdom of his years, a belief that life is enriched by risk and revelation. Upon tasting the brew the next day, he discovered that the concoction was not a poison, but a miracle of nature, a potent, transforming substance that connected the mortal realm with the divine. In a dramatic turn of fate, he consumed the mixture until his body appeared lifeless, only to awaken later with the secret knowledge that mead was a bridge to something greater, a key to unlocking communication with the gods. The myth further tells of a bird that, in a symbolic act of change, carved the first drum, its rhythmic beats summoning nightly transformation and echoing the timeless cycle of death and rebirth. This powerful narrative not only captures the magic of a single fermented mixture, but also illustrates the transition from natural happenstance to a ritualistic tradition. Across the tapestry of history, The art of brewing mead finds its most articulated expression in the works of ancient scholars like Columella. In his seminal treatise, De Re Rustica, Columella offers a detailed method for transforming simple ingredients into a potent and treasured drink. The instructions are clear, yet laced with an almost reverential attention to detail. The process begins with the deliberate selection of water, rainwater that has been stored and purified over years, or, when necessary, spring water that has been boiled to remove impurities. With a precise mixture of a sextarius of water to a carefully measured quantity of honey, the giver of nature's sweetness, is combined with life-giving water. The recipe demands patience. The concoction is first exposed to the comforting warmth of the sun for as many as 40 days, a number imbued with symbolic resonance, suggesting purification, preparation, and even a form of spiritual resurrection. After this period, the mixture is gently placed near a fire, not for the purpose of cooking, but to further coax the natural fermentation into releasing its hidden flavors. This ancient method remarkably mirrors the natural processes observed in indigenous rituals, such as those performed by the Mokovi people, whose uncomplicated yet elegant techniques involved using natural sunlight and ambient heat. Both traditions underscore an intuitive understanding of nature's pace, emphasizing that the slow, deliberate transformation of ingredients is itself a sacred act. The Columella recipe attests to this mindful approach, one that respects the ancient marriage between natural elements and human creativity. The journey of mead extends far beyond its origins as a simple fermented drink. It evolves into a ritual that binds communities together in a celebratory symphony of shared experiences and collective joy. In ancient festivals, the act of drinking mead was synonymous with communal unity, a moment when individuals, irrespective of their station, gathered under the same sky to partake in what felt like a sacred communion. Picture a scene from an age where the rhythmic beating of drums accompanied communal feasts, each beat echoing the pulse of life and the heartbeat of culture. Within these festivities, mead was much more than liquid intoxication. It was a potion that dissolved boundaries, ignited a sense of fellowship, and conjured a feeling of proximity to the divine. Ancient societies, whether Celtic, Germanic, or those hailing from the Nordic regions, celebrated mead as a drink that was intimately linked with the mysteries of fertility and the cycle of harvest. The act of consuming mead was steeped in symbolism. Each sip was believed to summon the blessings of the gods, to confer longevity, and to affirm one's connection with the spiritual realm. The communal experience of shared intoxication brought people together, transforming ordinary gatherings into transformative rites of passage. In lively festivals, where the air was rich with the sense of nature and the echoes of ancient chants, the communal sharing of mead created an environment where every individual felt the spark of immortality. This intoxicating rite elevated the human spirit, reinforcing bonds among friends, families, and even strangers. The magic of mead lay in its unique ability to shift one's state of mind, to free the soul from the rigors of daily life and open a door to the mysterious, often unseen dimensions of existence. In a harmonious blend of history and modern ritual, mead continues to hold a revered place in certain indigenous cultures and isolated communities where ancient customs still thrive. Venturing into the remote regions of southern Brazil, one encounters the Mokovi people, whose festivals offer a vivid portrait of mead as a sacred beverage. In these gatherings, the preparation of mead is an act imbued with both artistry and reverence, a careful mixing of honey and water using traditional methods passed down through generations. This ritual is not a mere act of drink-making. It is a ceremony that symbolizes the unity between people and nature, where every participant contributes to a shared cultural heritage. Similarly, in parts of West Africa, the Bambaras embrace mead as the drink of wisdom and truth. In these communities, mead is not consumed to induce extreme intoxication. Instead, it is regarded as a gentle elixir that warms the spirit and fosters meaningful conversation. The preparation here is equally thoughtful, sometimes enhanced with a touch of chili to introduce a spark of vitality into the mix. In these scenes, friends share a humble gourd, pressing their lips side by side as a sign of solidarity and trust. Such practices emphasize that mead is far more than an alcoholic beverage. It is an ever-present symbol of the extraordinary bond between human beings and the natural world. Through these ritualistic practices, the ancient significance of mead is preserved, echoing the belief that every drop holds a fragment of ancestral wisdom and a connection to a time when nature and community were intertwined in the most fundamental expressions of life. As the centuries rolled forward, the story of mead morphed with evolving culinary traditions, ultimately intersecting with the broader spectrum of fermented beverages in medieval Europe. In these lively times, mead was not a solitary drink, but formed an integral part of symphonic feasting, where beer and wine danced alongside it in harmonious celebration. Across regions like northern Germany, innovative brewers skillfully blended mead with barley beer, creating distinctive concoctions that melded the sweetness of honey with the robust character of malt. In the Vosges, local traditions saw the emergence of mixtures enriched with mashed bees, an inventive twist designed to accelerate fermentation and imbue the drink with a singular piquancy. This fusion of ingredients was much more than a technical innovation. It was an expression of communal creativity and resourcefulness. The medieval table became a canvas where the interplay of beer, wine, and mead told stories of regional identity, of deep-rooted customs, and of a collective spirit that celebrated the bounty of the land. As spices such as ginger, long pepper, cloves, and the exotic grain of paradise found their way into the mix, the resulting libations were both aromatic and full of character. These medieval mixtures, far from being a crude form of alcoholic production, signified an era where art and science converged in a kaleidoscopic display of flavor and tradition. Every sip evoked images of grand feasts in rustic halls, where laughter intermingled with the clamor of celebration, and every shared drink was a tribute to the ingenuity of those who had mastered the sacred craft of fermentation. In the final analysis of our journey through the rich history of mead, one cannot help but reflect on the poignant legacy of this ancient drink. Once hailed as a divine elixir, mead forged intimate bonds between individuals and the natural world, a drink that transformed communal rituals into transcendent experiences. Yet today, in a modern world dominated by mass-produced beverages, this storied potion has been all but forgotten by the mainstream. As I wander through memories of ancient feasts and sacred sunrise ceremonies, I am struck by the realization that mead was more than an intoxicant. It was a medium for celebrating life. The legacy of mead, with its roots deep in myth and its branches spreading through medieval ingenuity, invites us to reconsider the importance of tradition and ritual in our lives. In rediscovering mead, we awaken echoes of a time when every communal gathering was imbued with purpose, when every sip carried a story of transcendent unity and timeless mystery. It is a reminder that even as the modern world races ahead, the wisdom of the past still whispers through the corridors of memory, beckoning us to savor the forgotten, the delicate, and the extraordinary. In celebrating mead once again, we